Hello there, and welcome to Professor Sky's Spam Channel. This is where I talk about anything that is not new music. So, last week, I couldn't help myself. I'd been to a Star Wars convention, and I saw the new Star Wars TV show, and I sort of keep my Star Wars fandom a little bit tampered, like on this channel and on my other channel, because I want to be more than just a Star Wars fan. But that video did pretty well, and actually one of my friends who I know through Star Wars collecting just sent me a message on Facebook today saying that he was looking forward to my next video on the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show. So, this is for you, Peter. Thanks for sending me the email. Frankly, I want to. I just finished my annual report, so I have the summer kind of ahead of me. And maybe I'll get to talk more about Star Wars, certainly more about the TV show. So I'm going to be talking about Episode 3, full spoilers. If you haven't seen Episode 3 of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show on Disney+, go watch that now. And I want to talk about something that I think makes it really great. And at the very end, I'm going to do a little show and tell of a couple items that I think are cool that pertain to the show that come from my collection. So, what am I going to talk about? So, when I like something as much as I like this new show, I get really into it. So I listen to podcasts, I watch YouTube videos, I rewatch, I keep my wife up at night discussing plot details. I just get super into it. So I have listened to, there's a pretty good podcast out there called Children of the Watch. I just discovered it. It's quite good. I listen to these other guys, Rebel Force Radio. I listen to a whole bunch of different podcasters and YouTubers talking about this stuff because I love it. I love getting into it. It's fun, And I haven't heard anyone make this point that I'm about to make. So that's what I'm going to do. Whenever I think I have a perspective that might help, either from my position as an academic or from my life experience and my ability to make connections, I'm going to make that point. So what am I going to be talking about? I'm not going to be talking about Darth Vader. I'm not going to be talking about why did he just stare at the fire, or how badass is he, or how much was he using the Force, or what were his aims, or what did I think about, you can see back there, that's the Lego set for the Mustafar place where Darth Vader lives. That's actually in my background, in my living room at all times. If you've ever seen any of my videos, you've seen Darth Vader's castle on my video channel. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about, Quinlan Vos is going to be on here, and he's a Jedi from this and that. I want to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi and the depiction of male weakness. This show is doing something so good and so real. Everyone talks about, character and how important character is. And usually when they do that, they show it by conflict or by strength, So if a character has a particular strength and they show that strength over and over again, or if they have a conflict, they're good and bad and they see that. Obi-Wan Kenobi, this whole show, is just a depiction of weakness. It's a depiction of somebody who is beaten and somebody who doesn't know how to get up. Part of why I love this show so much is it is retroactively recontextualizing The Last Jedi, which maybe someday I'll do a video about why that's such a good movie. I do think it's such a good movie. I also understand people's complaints. So I'm not saying I don't understand the complaints, but I think it's a great movie, and I think it's particularly a great movie for the main reason people don't like it, which is the frailty and human weakness of Luke Skywalker. Now it's interesting because a lot of people who are watching this show love it, who hate that depiction of Luke Skywalker. And that's very logical. The people who hate seeing Luke Skywalker as a broken, frail man are the people who are my age, who grew up wanting to be Luke Skywalker. So they see their failure in his failure. I really think that's what's happening. I think a bunch of middle-aged men saw a middle-aged Luke acting like a middle-aged loser, and they sort of thought, is that me? Am I a middle-aged loser? Did I go from idealistic little kid to middle-aged loser? We all did. So Obi-Wan Kenobi, even though a lot of us got introduced to him when he's younger, he's always been in this paternal role, this kind of paternal figure. So his failure in this show is a paternal failure. It's not the failure of a great hero who is no longer a hero. It's a failure of a leader, a failure of a teacher, of a father, of an uncle, of someone who's not able to do what he's supposed to do. And that's what makes him so human. So he's weak, I guess, in the way that he runs away from Darth Vader, but I don't think so. I think he's actually being fairly strategic based on the imbalance in power. I think he's constantly trying to tamp down the Force. I think he's constantly trying to not become Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's constantly trying to stay Ben Kenobi because that's his mission, is to stay Ben Kenobi so that he can help overlook Luke Skywalker until he needs to become Obi-Wan Kenobi, which he will eventually. But what this show does, especially this third episode, it shows how, like, when and I've had this experience, that's why I think it's so funny. I'm a good father. I really think that. And I'm a good uncle as well. But sometimes I'm not. And when I'm not at my best self, I am a lot like Obi-Wan Kenobi in this show. And if you're a father or an uncle or a much older brother, I think maybe you can relate to this. There's a certain impotent rage that overcomes him, where he gets put in this position and he knows he has to do something, and he's here with this child, and he'll vacillate. He'll go between being very kind and considerate and understanding and helpful to just snippy as hell, just a barky little angry dog man, just an angry little pepper shaker just screaming at this little Leia kid. It's this like 0 to 60, but it's not 0 to 60 because he's never abusive. He's never cruel. He just loses that ability to be a calm, reassuring presence. And the one thing that Obi-Wan Kenobi has been for all of us, for our entire lives, is a calm, reassuring presence. The Force will be with you always. He is always the bearded, Jesus-like, Santa-like figure and will be on his lap and we will be okay. He's not fire and ice. He is warmth and security. And this show shows us exactly what happens when that breaks down. So the scene I want to focus on, and I might even show it to you. I might show it to you on my computer if I can get it on the copyright goblins, is where he's walking. So they just arrived on the planet of Mapuzo, which sounds like a guy I went to high school with. or like a substitute teacher. Hey, who's our teacher? Mapuzo. Damn it. So they're on Mapuzo, and it's Leia and Obi-Wan walking. Now, I had my reservations about Leia. I did. But this little girl is such a strong actor if you watch this scene. So she asks, what is this place? And he says, Mapuzo, a mining system. And then they kind of keep going. And then he says, this is where we're supposed to go if he was telling the truth. And Leia goes, why would he lie? And like out of nowhere, he goes, people are not all good, Leia. He's like, I think you should leave character. He just barks. He just loses his cool. And this is the subtlety and the beauty of the show. And the Deborah Chow is directing, and Kobe, something like that is the name of the writer of this show. Like, this is it. This is a broken man who's trying to walk with this little girl, and she just says, why would he lie? And instead of just saying, oh, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Like when you're your good self, when you're in your good space as a father or an uncle, and you're at Disneyland and you're going for a walk, and someone says, why can't I get ice cream? You should just say, oh, well, because we haven't eaten lunch yet. But like if you're in that bad space, if like, I don't know, you have like a bunion, or you're chafed, or you're hungry, or you had to wait in line, or you got some bad news on your phone, can we get some ice cream? We haven't had lunch yet, and it's totally inappropriate for you to ask. Like you just kind of lose it. And the way that this little girl who plays Leia is so good is her response. It's a wordless response. You have to watch this again. She just like kind of acts a little bit shocked. But this is the way that we know that Leia is special, that she has the Force. In the first 2 episodes, it was with her verbal wit. Here, it's her ability to be on a distant planet with a stranger in great danger, being yelled at, and she immediately understands the situation because she's so empathetic, because she understands human emotions so well, that she immediately does what eventually my children learned how to do, which is whenever I get barky, they just go, Dad, you're not treating me right, and I don't like it. And fortunately, I've been to enough therapy where once they say that, I go, yep, all right, you're right. Sorry, we'll get ice cream after we eat a turkey leg, right? Like it's there's this thing that can happen, but she knows he's not in that place. So they just keep going. But what's great is that Obi-Wan doesn't lose it completely. He calms down. He talks about the Empire. And then she says, I thought the Empire was good. But he's not. He doesn't give a... She says something which should be very aggravating to Obi-Wan Kenobi. He doesn't get angry. He doesn't bark at her this time. He's very measured. He's in control of himself. He just says, well, your father is trying. So we have like all this sort of back and forth. And it's this vacillation between calm and agitated between like determined duty and impotent rage at the situation that you're in. And Ewan McGregor knows how to play it, and the writers know how to write it, and Leia knows how to play off of it to where you really feel the weakness, the human weakness of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Later on, Obi-Wan gets to the rendezvous point, and there's no one there, and he instantly loses his cool. Like, instantly. Like, I knew I shouldn't have trusted him. And Leia, ever the optimist, is like, I don't know, if maybe, and then he cuts her off and says, no one is coming, Leia. So think about what he's doing. He's telling this lost little kidnapped girl with the stranger on a strange planet that no one's coming for you, you are not safe, I am not in control, freak out. And that's what 100 out of 100 10-year-olds would do in that situation. If an authority figure who they're relying on for support freaks out and tells them no one's in control, there's going to be tears, there's going to be crying. But that's how we're seeing the strength of Leia. It's in her ability to read it. And she knows that's his problem because he's weak. That's not my problem because I'm strong. And I think as the show goes along, I'm still a little sick from whatever I got at the convention. Not COVID, fortunately. Like while the show goes, we're going to see Obi-Wan get stronger, I hope, and become that calm, reassuring person that he was for episodes 1, 2, and 3, and that he is for episode 4. This is him regaining his calm, regaining his composure, and being the best father, the best uncle, the best teacher that he can be. And this happens when I'm a teacher too. Like anytime you're in that kind of position of authority, and I'm sure this happens to aunts and mothers too. I can't speak for them. Like sometimes if I'm not in my best space as a teacher and a student asks me a question, I might get snippy. I might say, well, that was on the homework. I might, you might just get that way. Okay, so that's my comment. That's what I want you to pay attention to. Let's see if we can watch it on here. I don't know if this is going to work, if this is going to be interesting to you or not, because we're just watching it on my computer, so it's going to be all funkadunk. But let's do this, so we can see Leia's reaction to his impotent rage.
Coordinates say the meeting point is further north. That is if our new friend was telling the truth.
Why would he lie?
People are not all good, Leia.
You see that? The way she's just people are not all good, Leia. Whew. All right, so here's a couple things I want to show you. I will talk a little bit about Vader. By Star Wars things that you might not have, that you need to have. This book came out 2005, I think? No, 2011. And it goes into Darth Vader's entire costume, sort of layer by layer by layer. It is so rad. And of course it ends with Hayden Christensen and his sort of, mutilated body, and even goes into a skeletal system. It goes into the whole thing. And finally, these are a couple cool card backs from the old Star Wars things with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. This is one of my favorite things of all Star Wars collecting, because it's a picture of Darth Vader, but it says "Free Anakin Skywalker." That's what the sticker says. And that's the point of the entire Star Wars series. The entire Star Wars saga is about freeing Anakin Skywalker. And it's on a Darth Vader card back. Kind of cool. All right, so we'll see. I might not do a video for episode 4 if I don't have anything to say, but maybe 14 minutes. I had a lot to say. All right, there's the camera.